potential salespeople? What are the characteristics of a high potential sales person? So if you're in HR, you run a business, you employ salespeople, you will learn a lot from this episode of the Paul Fu podcast. All right. So let's get into the characteristics of high potential sales people. I will be using the acronym of TALENT to teach on the characteristics of high potential sales people. Let's get into it. The first characteristics of a high potential sales person. In fact, let me do who is a high potential salesperson? The person has a lot of prospects. If the person works within an organization, those are the kind of people that get promoted easily. Their roles change. And even organizations poach those kinds of people because they are doing well. Those on Instagram, can you hear me, please? All right, so let's get into the characteristics of high potential salespeople. The first characteristic of a high potential sales person is targets. A high potential salesperson is extremely clear about their targets. A high potential salesperson is clear about his or her targets. They're very clear about their target. They know why they are in the organization. They are not unsure about their purpose in the company where they are. When I do recruitment for organizations, because apart from sales training, my company, we recruit salespeople for organizations. And I've asked people, so why do you want to do sales? And you hear a lot of them saying, oh, I want this role because I want to help the organization. That is true. I mean, it's good. You want to help the organization. But for your personal life, why are you doing? What is the targets that you want in your life? What are you chasing? So that if you tell me that this is the targets that you have, I'm going to now ask you, do you think that this role or this job will help you accomplish that target that you have set for yourself? It is important that you understand that. You get me? So, what is a target? A high potential salesperson, they know the exact target that they want to accomplish. They write it down and they break down their target into personal target and into career target. So let's say they work in a company and they give them a 10% commission. They say to themselves, okay, I'm going to work in this company for XYZ amount of time. But every year, every quarter, I want to, off the back of my commissions, buy a property. I want to, off the back of my commissions, go on a holiday with my wife and children. So high potential salespeople, they have target. And because of the fact that they have personal target and organizational target, they are an asset to the organization and to themselves. All right. So that's the first one. The second characteristics of high potential salespeople is that they are adaptable. It's adaptability. So because high potential salespeople, they know that the world is always changing. Guys watching me on Instagram, can you hear me, please? Those of you watching me on Instagram, can you hear me, please? I just want to double check if you can hear me, please. Please type on the chat box if you can hear me on Instagram, please. Those of you watching me on Instagram, can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, please? Okay, great. TireMax says that they can hear me. Great. So the second characteristics of high potential salespeople is adaptability. You see, the world that we live in is always changing. It will not remain the same. It cannot remain the same. Today we have OpenAI. Today we have Gemini. Today we have Grok. Today we have DeepSeek. All of these things are LLMs, or what we call large language models. They are LLMs. All right. The world is changing so fast. Today, you can get a lot of stuff done with Chat GPT that you needed your secretary, your accountant to help get done for you. So a high potential salesperson is a person that can adapt to the changing times. The world is changing, the marketplace is changing, the way you get leads are changing, the way you qualify leads is changing. All right, so a high potential salesperson is somebody who is always changing with the times. Can you create content with your phone? Can you write a sales letter? Do you know how to do an offer document, an offer doc? Do you know how to follow up using AI? Did you get that? So you have to be adaptable. Do you know how to build networks? Do you know how to build relationships? Do you know how to write digitally? You need to be adaptable. So a high potential salesperson is a person that is adaptable and always changing with the times. You know, it's been said that the people who will succeed in this world are those who are most adaptable to change. The only thing that is constant in this world now is change. Today, some people like us, we can walk anywhere in the world as long as there is the internet. So there is no, we are location independent. In my father's time, I couldn't live in the UK because I need to go to somewhere physical. But today, because of the power of the internet, some of us can make money anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Because of the internet. So you have to be adaptable. The world is changing. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in Africa, listen to me right now. There, for example, there is an immigration thing going on. A lot of people are moving from their home countries to different parts of the world, but yet they're still moving money back to their home countries. I don't know how true it is, but according to the CBN, in 2024, from January 2024 to October 2024, Nigerians that are living abroad sent back home $4.2 billion. $4.2 billion diaspora economy. So you want to ask yourself a question: in what way can I participate in this diaspora economy? So you need to be adaptable to change. Do you know how to create content with AI? Do you know how to distribute content with AI? Do you know how to chop up content with AI? So are you adaptable to the change? Do you know how to build a funnel? Do you know how to build a sales funnel? Do you know how to build a positioning for your business? Those are the adaptability things that you should be thinking about if you want to become a high potential salesperson. Did you get that? The third characteristic of the high potential salesperson is leads and learning. Before I go into that, this episode of the Paul Fo podcast was sponsored by me. By my company. All right, so I've got 3 products I want to plug in here as we go along here. On the 9th of March, I'm doing a free training, a free webinar called How to Get Your Next 100 Customers. It's a free webinar. So you want to sign up for that. If you're watching this on Instagram, click on the link on my Instagram bio and sign up for that. The webinar is free. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or you're watching me on YouTube, the link is in the show note. The class is completely free. You can sign up for that. It's a free webinar. The second thing I want to plug in here for my podcast here is, if you live in London, on the 27th of March 2025, I'm doing a sales training in London called How to Set and Achieve Your Sales Targets. If you register right now, there is a promo going on for that training. Click on the link on my Instagram bio and sign up now. Or if you know of somebody, if you don't live in the UK, you know of somebody that should come for the training, click on the link on the show note and sign up for that training. And click on the subscribe button as well. So let's go. Next is lifelong learning. High potential salespeople are lifelong learners. I don't know why people do not read. I read 30 books a year, 30 to 35 books. In fact, I want to try and see if I can do 50 books this year. They are lifelong learners. Let me show you the book I'm currently reading right now. This is a very old book. This is some of the books I'm reading right now. Dan Kennedy. This is the book on advertising that I'm reading right now. So I'm always reading. Plus my own book. Irresistible. So I'm always reading. So high potential salespeople, they are lifelong learners. Last year, according to Spotify, I spent 20,000 hours listening to podcasts. Last year. I'm trusting the Lord to do even 50,000 hours this year listening to podcasts, because that's the only way to grow. That's the only way to become successful, when you become a lifelong learner. Did you get that? Because when you learn a lot, you start seeing patterns. I repeat, when you learn, you read, you listen to podcasts a lot, you will start seeing patterns on how this world actually works. You will start seeing the patterns. And once you see the patterns, you cannot unsee the patterns. You start seeing the patterns on how this world works. Please, how much is Irresistible, my book? Oh, Jessica, if you live in Nigeria, the book is 5,000 naira. Send me a DM right now. I'll send you an account number to pay that in, and you'll get the e-copy. It's only the e-copy that's available if you are ready for that. I just sold some today in the UK as well as e-copy. All right, so let's go ahead. So you got to commit to lifelong learning. Lifelong learning. Let me give you an example about the power of lifelong learning. I was not making money on LinkedIn. I had not closed a client on LinkedIn. Do you know how I started making money on LinkedIn? I've gotten 2 clients now on LinkedIn, by the way. Good money. You know, I started making money on LinkedIn. You want to know how? I just went to YouTube and I watched like maybe 6 videos on how to grow on LinkedIn. I began to study LinkedIn. And boom, the first client paid me in December. The second client just paid me, boom. And that's how I grew on LinkedIn. Today, I think my followership has even increased. I now have 5,100 followers on LinkedIn because I watch the videos. I'm a lifelong learner. Question is, are you a lifelong learner? It has to be consistent. You got to fall in love with the process of learning. The process of learning. Is my mic here? Okay, great. Fall in love with the process. Mike, fall in love with the process of learning. Is my mic still on? Great. It's still on. Are you guys enjoying this? Next is leads. High potential salespeople understand the power of leads. They understand the power of leads. High potential salespeople understand you see, for as far as sales is concerned, the lifeblood of sales is leads. You need to be obsessed with getting leads, like every single day. As blood is to the human body, so are leads to your business. You need to be obsessed with leads. You've got to be obsessed with leads. High potential salespeople, they know where to find leads. They know how to convert leads into paying customers. They know how to follow up on leads. They know how to write content to attract the leads. They know how to DM leads. They know how to call leads. Leads are their friend. They are obsessed with leads. They think about leads every single day. They dream about leads every single day because they understand that what you think about is what you bring about. You guys are learning something from this. All right. The E in the next one in the characteristics of high potential salespeople is enterprising. High potential salespeople are very, very, very enterprising and entrepreneurial. They are entrepreneurs. High potential salespeople, even if you employ them in your company to work for you, they carry your work in their head as if they own the business. They carry your work in their head as if they own the business, if they are an employee. And even as salespeople, they think like entrepreneurs. They solve problems like entrepreneurs. They welcome problems because they know that problems are just opportunities that are when closed. Did you get that? So they're very entrepreneurial. They're always thinking. They take responsibility. They take initiative. They don't wait for you to tell them to call that client. They will call that client. They are self-motivated. All right. The N in the talent part of the characteristics of high potential sales is network. They build their network. Oh my goodness. They know that your network is your net worth. So they do not play with their network. They go for networking events. They shake hands with people because they know that the more hands you shake, the more money you're going to make. So they understand all of these dynamics. And before I talk about the last one, remember this episode of the Paul Fo podcast was sponsored by me. I've got a paid WhatsApp group where I teach sales and marketing every single day. I've run it for 5 years. If you want to understand community and the power of community, join my paid WhatsApp group. Every month we review a book. Monday to Friday, I give a talk on sales. And we do classes. We just did a class today on networking. Speaking of networking, in my paid WhatsApp group. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, the link is in my Instagram bio as well. Sign up to be in the WhatsApp group. Also, I write a newsletter every single week called The Full Letters to inspire and motivate salespeople to take their sales to the next level. Click on the link in the show notes. And lastly, if you run a business and you want qualified salespeople, the link is also in my bio. I will show you how to get good salespeople. I am an employment agency as well. I help companies get qualified salespeople. Now, the last part is the T. Which is tough, because sales is tough. So high potential salespeople are very, very tough. They are tough on themselves first, and it manifests in their body. That's my own opinion of it. I work out every day. I take care of myself every day. Did you get that? Because if you're tough on yourself, you will kind of get tough, in the sales process as well. So they're tough on themselves. They don't take nonsense from themselves. They work hard on themselves because they know that the power and the magic is in themselves. Did you get that? All right. So I hope this was useful to you. And that brings us to the end of this training called the characteristics of high potential sales people. I hope this was useful to you. If you're listening to this on Instagram, click on the subscribe button. I hope this was useful to you. Do you have any questions, please? Thank you, my podcasters. Thank you, my YouTubers, for watching. And those of you on Instagram, was this a useful class to you? Did you learn something on tonight? Did you learn something on tonight?